Envoy, have you recovered yet from our chat in the library? I don't think I have yet, but maybe talking it out will help. It's just... we already have a lot to take care of, don't we? We have a god and an empire, both vying for our attention, and now I have this legacy forced on me. I was already unsure what to do, and now a third option appears like the world's worst surprise. But it makes sense. My whole life has been about the godless in one way or another. It explains why I knew the language, why I felt so drawn to the ruins. Maybe. It certainly doesn't sound too awful. It's not an answer I would have expected, but it's an answer. And now that I know, I kind of thought, well, honestly, I feel more... full. Like a puzzle piece sliding right back into place. No matter what happens, even if my path doesn't lead to the library, I feel better than I have in ages. That is an option. I think... for the first time in my life, I don't know what to do.
Congratulations, Yardsley. Now you're just like the rest of us.
No matter what, I've always known exactly what I want. But this is the first time I've had more options than time in the day. What do you think? You're right. The Akira have been with me my whole life, in one way or another. I owe it to them and myself to see it through to the end. Thank you, Envoy. I've been agonizing over this for longer than I want to admit. Finally picking a destination makes the journey a lot easier. Oh, but I am not looking forward to telling Quilici.
He'll understand. Your happiness and fulfillment are everything to him.
Well, come on. We've bigger things to deal with. Literally, in Sapadal's case. Much as I'm loath to relinquish the spotlight, we should be off. And Envoy, thank you, truly. Now, let's go.
When you find Sapadal, I hope you tell him how much I love what they've done with this place. I'm a man of hidden depths. What's not to love about floating islands and a spectral tree? Besides, as divine prisons go, I can imagine much worse. True enough. Makes me wonder if confinement was the real goal, or simply the only option at the time. One thing's for sure, imprisonment has only riled Sapadal up. Judging from their outbursts at Mount Forja and Nakukubel, they haven't exactly taken this time to reflect and relax. Uh-huh. I've heard that one before. Usually before a lot of tears, a lot of drinks, and a lot of, I should have known better. Still, you taught me that a person can grow beyond their flaws. Why wouldn't the same be true of a god? I hope you're right, because we are all in trouble if you're wrong. You know, if Sapadal were only a smuggler, assassin, or bandit, I'd be right there with you. But knowing they could end us all with a temper tantrum puts things in perspective. I guess we've all got our limits. And I don't envy you having to deal with the loose cannon of a god. But I envy even less the mess you're going to have when we escape this place. While we're tracking down your god, things are heating up between your Adiran comrades and the locals. A lot of people aren't going to make that distinction, especially when your Ambassador Heelguard hosted Ludwig and parodies for as long as her assistance was convenient. The Steel Garrote leveled fewer. Even if Animancers aren't the most popular bunch, everyone gets nervous when fields burn. And yeah, I know that's on the Steel Garrote, but it's not lost on anyone that your people despise Animancy. Not when Heelguard banned the practice in parodies. Even if you believe that, no one else will. And that's not all. Ringram may have unleashed some powerful magic against the Dream Scourge, but she left a lot of corpses in her wake. That doesn't look good for your people. Not when Ludwig was also in the region, and your people had a garrison at Eagle's Reach. And then there's Solace. You might have saved the keep, but no one's going to talk about the disaster that didn't happen. They're going to talk about why Mount Forja erupted after all this time. I don't think anyone else is going to understand the indirectly. Fairly or not, a lot of blame's going to be laid at Adir's door. And if I had to guess, I don't think Heelguard's been helping matters while you've been out here. If and when we get out of here, we're walking into a powder keg. And you'll have to choose a side. That's the part I don't envy. I admire your principles, but don't underestimate what they could demand of you. Look, I've been there. I fought for Rauatai's interest in the Deadfire for longer than I like to admit. And lost my stomach for it eventually. That's how I wound up here. But I will tell you now, I never could have fought my own brothers and sisters. I hope that's not what it comes down to. But I'll understand if that's a line you can't cross. I don't mean to burden you. It's late, and you've still got a god to face. Just know that whatever you choose, I'll fight alongside you. I'm with you to the end of this. Anytime. Good night, Envoy.
I came here to help you do whatever you're supposed to do with your god friend. Instead, I'm here talking to dead people. It was, right. But it was easier than I thought it would be. Thanks to you, I think I was ready for something like this. I will say, it's not really what I expected when I started tracking you and Kai back in Paradise. No, I was thinking more in terms of hunting for wild game and peeing on Kai to put the fires out. It's been a bit of a ride, Envoy. I feel like it's coming to an end. One way or another. I don't know. Maybe the unexpected isn't so bad after all. I never expected you and I would become friends. Quick note. If you tell any of the others I said that, I'll poison your drink. Anyway. Let's make sure they're not listening. The only one we haven't talked about is Yatsley. I don't know. Things have changed a bit, I guess. She's not so bad. I mean, she's loud and impulsive and always trying to get herself killed, and she keeps saying things to get a rise out of me, Envoy. But, joke's on her. No one's gotten a rise out of me in years. But other than that, we can get along. She can be sweet, too. When she's not introducing me to a new word for my oak and acorns. Not before I've done some reading.
If we make it out of this, I barely plan further than the next meal, and you're asking me? I don't know, Envoy. I just try to take each day and each battle as it comes. And you can see where that's gotten me. But I think it's possible to be too prepared. Exactly, yeah. You know what all of us think by now. Ultimately, you're the one who has to decide what to do with Sapadal and where your loyalties lie. My advice? Get a good night's rest, and when the moment comes, follow your instincts. Don't forget that every soul in the living lands hangs in the balance. But look at it this way. Whatever you choose, you'll end the Dream Scourge, and you'll give the living lands a future. And I'd wager that's better than where we are now. Good thing you're asking the expert. You're asking me? I'm not much of a gossip. Okay, who do you want to know about? You know, just when I was thinking our little group was getting too solemn and serious, we met her. I'm not so sure about the new friend she's making. Ringram's a dangerous maniac, and I don't like the influence she has over Yatsley. And I couldn't believe how ready she was to sacrifice Shatterscarp as part of that Archmage's spell. I'm still shaking that one off, to be honest. But she keeps things interesting and keeps us on our toes. What's more, she's a good friend to Giada, and Giada's a good influence on her. I'm pretty sure Yatsley flirts with everybody. I don't read anything into it. Don't get me wrong, she's a striking woman, but she and Quilichi have a good thing. I'd never get in the middle of something like that. Yeah, and both of those subjects fly way over my head. I prefer dealing with things I can see and make sense of. I just hope she keeps some part of herself grounded with the rest of us. She's brilliant, but I worry that the real-world consequences of the forces she plays with are academic to her. Sure. I'm not sure I'll be much help, but I'll try. Night, Envoy.
Envoy, pinch me. I must be dreaming. I've long imagined what the garden could look like, but... even all the depictions I've seen in all the ruins, they didn't do it justice. And that's not even counting all the little surprises we've gotten. I learned that I was very possibly the last of the Akita, and that I've got a library to take care of. We learned the fate of the Akita from their killer herself. And you're on the way to meet your god. Years of being an unclaimed godlike, and now it feels like a typhoon of information has hit us. I've yet to catch my breath. There are even floating sky islands. How are you staying so calm? You could be a bit more excited. I just want to focus on memorizing everything I can. The architecture is obviously in pristine condition, let alone... Just be sure to remember everything we see. I'll want to pick your brain later. You think that learning I'm an Akedan reborn will make me less interested? Huh. Our travels together may have changed me, Envoy, but not that much. This place is... it's more than I could have ever dreamed. I know we have to find your god and figure out what to do with them, but... oh, I almost feel like I could stay here forever. I suppose. It's worth thinking about, at least. Still, I just... oh, it's breathtaking here. And think how much I could learn here. Pockets of time in the lives of the Akita are here, and... oh, but we've not even gotten to the end yet. We haven't seen everything. Let's get moving. I'm starting to suspect that every single leader in the living lands is incompetent. Truly. Is there no vetting process? Hopefully those in Solace Keep will choose their leaders with more care in the future. But we should check on Marius. I'll make him some soothing perfume, but I think a few words from you would help too. Lovely. Another point in your favor, Envoy. I do not envy the Pargrunen in any case. Meeting that council gave me a new appreciation for Vidaro. Well, Fjord has already been burned to the ground, so that's half the work already, I suppose. Barrett's balls. What a nightmare. We're losing focus on the important things. Things like the garden. Oh, come on, Envoy, let's get going. How can I help, darling? Always a pleasure, Envoy.
So those green people in the garden.
All this time, I thought my parents died in a freak accident. An experiment gone awry. A mistake. And in a way, they did. But it wasn't their mistake. It was Sapadal's. Generous? Perhaps. Until I knew the whole story, there was never anyone to blame. This whole experience has me considering my family's work in a different light. Look at what my mother accomplished. Armed with her research and her wits, she found a god. When you speak to a god, it's nothing. Barely a reflex. But for the rest of us, it's unimaginable. No animancer can live up to that. Certainly not me. I thought their legacy was a curse, and I could only break it by completing their work. I was wrong. Of course I can. But now, I can do them for the right reasons. One thing is certain. When it comes to animancy, I need to unlearn some of my old assumptions. I wanted to tame the spirit of the living lands. Now, there's so much about it I don't understand. And it's creepy, but wonderful. They probably won't even notice me. But stranger things have happened. I believe the power flowing out of the garden drove this island mad. That has to end. Through animancy, we could help the living lands recover. It would take a lifetime, maybe more, but that's a small price to pay. Then again, who am I to interfere with an ecosystem that I barely understand? On the other hand, half the fun of animancy is stirring the pot and getting into trouble. I think I know what I want, but there are too many variables to consider. What do you think? I have a lot of catching up to do, and plenty of room to grow. But I think you're right. So be it. Starting today, I don't have to live up to anyone's example. Animancy can be whatever I make of it. I knew they would be. And not just because some ancient plans told me so. Now I just have to decide which field of research to pursue. But no need to bore you with the details. I've only got one lifetime as Giata Castel, so I'd better make it count. Hey, you helped me through a very difficult time. I just wanted to say thank you.
You're good with the animancy.
It feels like we're in another world, one that isn't used to our kind. I don't know what I expected. Everything here feels wrong, as if we're standing in the eye of a storm. Can you feel it? Essences radiating from the very stones on which we walk. This is a place of power, forgotten by time. We are insignificant by comparison. Does that answer your question? Thank goodness. One word of advice. Trust nothing you see or hear. For all we know, this is happening in your head. Or better yet, in mine. For you, anything. Neither can I. I never used to believe in destiny. Life always felt meaningless, like groping through the dark. But in a good way. All of that was before the garden. What are the odds that you and I meet? And after a series of mishaps, I learned the truth about my family's past? Once in a lifetime, at best. I don't know if that was destiny at work, but it feels significant somehow. Whatever you choose to call it, a coincidence like this does not happen every day. Let's appreciate it for what it is. Moments like this are few and far between. You too.
A breath held. Trepidation. You are close, yet distant still. Your soul is small. The essence weighs like the sea on your chest. We feel the pressure. Darkness, yet somehow strengthened resolve. We wonder. Deer leaps at its reflection in the lake. You have defied our expectations at every turn. Perhaps we should not have been. The sky is green. The fish breathes air. We can no longer imagine. We would run, roll with the tide, sink our fingers into new earth. Whisper in the fields, lift the hills gently in our hands. Disturb the dirt, but spare the blooms. Shake the roots slowly. Vengeance denied, squandered. This cannot be. We spoke of flowers. We speak of freedom when the hand still clasps around our throat. Wake now. Find us.
Safe to assume that the large glowing door is part of Sapadal's prison. Now, we just have to get past it.
Sapadal's prison, I think. What else could be? Time to shut it down forever. Protect the outward!
And Roth!
drawn a crowd.
That'll show him.
Looks like the gates are open. What are we waiting for? I think we've found Sapadal's heart.
That's it. The heart of the
last, after so long. You are so small, we questioned if you were real. Then steps, a voice, through armies and corrupted soil, you persevered. Now, you are here. The rot, we feel it festering and spreading. What is it but an extension of our pain? Your dream scourge will end when our suffering does. We were innocent once. We woke, and we wanted nothing but connection. But the other gods imprisoned us, left us to suffer alone in this place. But you are here now. You found us, a sprout in the endless winter. There is little time. We would be freed from these bonds. The strangler is close now. We feel her wire against our flesh. She begs for our blood. Her wolves defile the city on the shore. Blood on the tile. The people's cries ring in our ears. She pierces us now. Now! We will not brook this. Not again. A spark. Wait. The essence bends here. Time flows into itself. You can reach her. Will the garden to open. It will take you there. Breathe. Focus. Shape the essence with your hands. We were everything. What have we lost? What multitudes could we contain? We could run, leap in the water, flourish in forgotten hills. We want nothing more than that. We mourn our past. We only seek peace now, a chance to regrow. We trust you. You who have been by our side for so long. You met death and imposed the law of mortals. It should have been better. For us. For him. We deserve mercy. All of us. Give us peace. We want a chance to change. We deserve that opportunity. Do you think we have learned nothing from you? We deserve more than this prison. Let us have a chance to rest. We want peace. Or do you have no more mercy for us than you did for the bear? The beautiful thing you killed, already you have forgotten. We asked what you would do with an animal that sickened after a fight. Do you remember what you said? More than anything, that is what we desire too. Treat us as you would the bear. Clean our wounds, heal us. Grant us the same. The time has come for you to act. End our pain, and the dream scourge will cease. Give us peace. It is all we have wanted for so long. Center your thoughts. Reach for us. Clear the fog. Tear down the gates. We were so blind, so lost. We brought such horrors to this place. We feel bright. We had forgotten what it is to live. We will grow, tend, flower. We will always remember this. We will remember you when you are ash and soil and mulch.
Andra's depths.
It's paradise. But what happened here?
Are we back in Dawnshore? Already?
This is Sapadal's doing. I'm certain of it. No power in Aora could transport us so quickly, or so far. What happened to the living land started long ago, and we're going to finish it.
Are you seeing this?
Looks like the war already started, and the giant roots are winning.
Marius, vines don't usually get...
Based on their growth and size, I'd say we've been gone too...
Hey, at least you didn't let 6 years go by.
Who knows if the garden affected time, or merely our perception of time?
It's like how a body fights an infection. The fever gives you strange dreams.
Look at this place. It feels like we're still in the dream. Those are more your people's ships in the harbor, and steel garrote banners past the barricade.
Even Raingrim is here. Perhaps we...
I think I see Elia as well.
The Blessed Wardens are here too. That conflict we've been trying so hard to prevent.
Always better than the reverse.
The steel garrote have been itching for a fight this whole time.
Before we go, what happened back there?
I'm not sure. That's good, right?
It's a relief that the Dream Scourge won't be a problem. Well, time will tell, I suppose.
After all this time, they're free.
We've cured the land, and we've even freed a caged god. All in
Kid and God entwine. The flower shades the soil in which it grows.
We should take a look. See if we can get ahead of whatever storm is brewing down there.
People seem to be gathering west of here. Whatever's happening, let's be a part.
Envoy? Is it really you?
Mihala told us you went into some place called the Garden to seek a god?
When you didn't return, we took you for dead.
What did you see there? The god you felt in Nakutadek?
The origin of the dream scourge? It was the act of a god.
Everyone, please, please. We could get... It's been weeks, Envoy. What happened?
Sapadal was responsible for the dream scourge. Their rage, their confusion, their fear.
But the plague isn't over. Dream thralls still litter Shatterscarp.
There won't be any new infections. We've put a stop to that for good. Unfortunately, there's little we can do for those already in the grip of the dream scourge. We can give them comfort, nothing more. This will be a process. The dream scourge was never going to simply go away overnight.
I suppose it stands to reason. What of this god, then? Ludwig had intimated that this land grew in...
Giata and I have some theories about the nature.
I'd say we're past the point of theorizing.
If the Adra here is a closed system, like a terrarium for our souls, eh?
Much like the formation of gemstones. All it takes is time.
Wodka no doubt saw Sapadal as a threat to her authority. So, she killed the godless and imprisoned their god.
I assume it is this god we have to thank for the... They erupted from the earth the moment those bastards stood up their first siege.
Nakutadek was riven with those things, not to mention what they did to the land.
We saw similar destruction at Nakukubel. If these roots and the gods thought it best to imprison this god, how...
Let's hope they don't decide to further amend themselves by coming for...
It was Adir's arrival that disturbed Sapadal. We'll have nothing to fear.
Sapadal's power ravaged my people.
Keeping watch over Sapadal was a sacred task Nandru gave us.
Well, whatever happens, I suppose we can't put the godling back...
But come, we have more pressing matters to attend to. The Steel Garrote have attacked Paradise. Inquisitor Ludwig has already joined the battle. She must have traveled like the wind.
You did. I kicked her corpse when you weren't looking, just to be sure.
Well, she's seen better days, but you wouldn't know it judging by how she fights.
Ludwig's plowed through the militia like a knife through warm butter.
All right, let's keep the similes to ourselves. Oh, cheer up. You wouldn't be the first to make that mistake. Might not be the last either, depending on how things go. So long as her passion for Wodika lives, so too will her spirit.
Then we destroy her faith, and the rest of her will follow. I have a theory about this. Let's talk at camp if you want to hear it. But I think we can kill her.
Oh, good. That will be easy.
It is not, I think, impossible. Well, you might not believe me, but I didn't want any of this to happen. It was Ludwig who called for the attack.
I didn't hear an answer, Ambassador.
She and her Steel Garrote laid siege to the city, shortly after you beat her to the garden.
We've had no news from inside for several days. From what we can observe, southern Paradis is in pieces, and the remaining militia batters at the gates to no avail.
Is there nothing our people can do?
Given the state of our supply routes after the Dream Scourge, and the Steel Garot's destruction, we expect the people trapped inside will run short of fresh food and clean water in a matter of days.
We brought as many Hail and Able from Thirdborn as would come. But after the Dream Scourge and our losses from Nakuku Bell, we could spare so few. I worry it won't be enough.
Likewise, my wardens are still reeling from effects of the eruption. The keep was saved, but there is much to repair, particularly if we are to endure a siege. Most of my men remain at the keep. I can't risk them against the Steel Garot for the sake of Paradis, not when we are so few.
Well, that's been a point of debate. We can't agree on how to stand against the Steel Garot, nor who should lead the effort.
Nobody wants to risk their people at the front.
So you let the Paradis militia go it alone?
Even if our meager forces should make it inside.
The siege won't end until Ludwig does. And none of you know how to kill her.
Precisely. The lawful settlement of a new Adirian colony, supposedly. Or the establishment of a Wodekin state. She could win with a godlike in her ranks. Your presence would serve as a powerful endorsement. I don't think peace is her concern. Remember, she has an obligation to Wodeka, a solemn oath. And neither the Steel Garot nor the Queen that was look kindly upon oathbreakers.
Because a victory here would discourage resistance elsewhere. The better question is, why didn't you stop her?
Excuse me? She's a 7-foot-tall skeleton powered by her devotion to the goddess of retribution. This isn't my fault.
Sure. Just blame the dead woman. Very mature.
Who else should I blame exactly? Our envoy, perhaps? For not stopping Ludwig in the tusks?
You could start with blaming your own incompetence.
Ludwig's the muscle. I'm merely the personality. What was I supposed to do? Frown her into submission?
What good are you as a diplomat if you can't even keep your own beast under control?
The Inquisitor was so convinced the Living Lands would unite against Adir that she's nearly made it true. One people, one law, one true God. That's Ludwig's vision for the Living Lands.
I can't wait to see how you weasel out of this one.
I know it will. We are leading by example, returning order and dignity to Paradis in the wake of the Clavager's death. We will do the same to the frontier, given the chance.
Where was order and dignity when you burned Fior Messivernal?
My administration had nothing to do with that, as I know you know. Adirian rule and rule by the Steel Garot would be markedly different beasts.
Spoken like a fucking diplomat. Splitting hairs when it all comes from the same head.
Order and dignity. That's what you think we're missing? Bastards! All of you!
You will take it all, whether the chance is given to you or not.
What passes between Ludwig and her men, or between Ludwig and the Emperor, for that matter, is not my affair. But if I had to guess, this was the alternative.
Your empire is doing what it does best. Stamping out dissent until surrender is the only option.
Your republics are hardly any different. Their intentions in the Deadfire were certainly not pure.
As you say, we left the republics for a reason.
Ludwig agrees. Our success would model the order and dignity of the Steel Garot. for whatever that's worth.
You can say what you want, but you're still trying to subjugate us.
You think I'll ignore what I've seen with my own eyes? The Empire has brought us nothing but chaos and suffering.
When I think dignity, I think of the people who attacked Fior Messiverno unprovoked.
The Inquisitor answers only to Wodica. In attacking Paradise, she has dragged us all far beyond the bounds of the Emperor's desires. I've answered your questions. Now I would like you, all of you, to answer mine. Ludwig has sent a message to the Emperor informing him of her attack. He will send advisors and reinforcements swiftly in response. What will his representatives find when they arrive? A new colony? A budding grave room? Before you face Ludwig, you should know what you're fighting for. All of you must decide, together. But whatever you decide, understand, the days of the frontier are done. Adir will come. Indeed, we are already here. Well, don't leave me in suspense. Oh, gods have mercy.
Solus and her wardens stand vigil with the living lands.
By grit and steel, Thirdborn stands with the living lands.
Fior and her animancers stand with the living lands.
We deserve this opportunity. Thank you for believing in us.
Fighting a battle together is easy. I just hope everyone's willing to stick it out when it comes to the politics.
God, they made the right decision for once.
Finally, some sense permeates the proceedings.
On your head be the consequences. That leaves the matter of Ludwig and the Steel Garrote. She will never surrender, Envoy. You must kill her, or we will lose Paradise, and eventually the island.
The living lands will never be free until we break the chain around our necks. Ludwig must die her final death.
She better say her goodbyes while she can.
I'm proud to fight at your side, Envoy. One last time.
Let's get to work then. We've got a walking corpse to bury.
The Paradise militia will be at your back. Give her no quarter. The future waits for you.
Thank you for deserving it. Now, go and teach the Steel Garrote a lesson they will never forget.
Show them that the living lands will not be broken across Wodica's knee.
We will send reinforcements to help you reclaim the Eastern Gate. From there, work your way to the main plaza. May all the gods of Eora and the living lands protect you.
Let's take back the city together. Show the Steel Garrote how the living lands takes care of its own.
Let's go free a city, shall we?
Gun's cleaned, I'll get out there. I risk a jam on the battlefield. The living lands needs me.
Envoy, how did you... I don't... Where did you come? You just appeared out of... Once word about Paradise reached us, we were allowed to... But listen to me rambling. Forgive me, Envoy. As much as you can. Yes, but more than that. I'd just like for us to live lives that are free. It's going to be up to you, Envoy. I know you have much to do, so...
When we strike as Partrunit, we strike as one. Good. All together now.
Let's talk in camp.
Oh, Envoy. How good to see you here as we stand together. I don't know if thank you is precise. Paradise burns from the torches of the Steel Garrote. I have no doubt that this will be only another chapter for you. But nevertheless, whatever the outcome of the upcoming battle, do not forget us. I fear that more than our deaths. If Adir and the Steel Garrote have their way, they'll strip the history books of any mention of our culture. Future generations will only ever know us as an appendage of the Empire. Only if that is all you've ever known. That's as much as I'll say. Do the right thing.
Giata, where have you been?
Where haven't I been? A journey to the heart of the living lands.
How's...
As prepared as you...
Who knows? Maybe all this will make a...
We don't need more heroes. We